at how beautiful that is. Love it. Cheers, YouTube. Man. You can't beat homemade wine, I'm serious. This is the LE16 Vermentino. This was one of the limited editions. Vermentino Italian white wine. Apparently it is super popular over in Italy, but here in the US and Canada you never really hear anything about it. But it's one of their most popular varietals over there, and so that was in the LE16 edition this time. And yeah, I tell you, delicious. Kind of like Pinot Grigio. It's got a little bit of a dry thing, but it's really fruity. That's good. But that's not why we're here. I just had to have a beverage, right? Today we're going to be making one of the Cider House Select cider kits. I just went to pour myself one of the mango peach ciders I had made. I think I'd mentioned that in a previous video. And blue foam, so I'm out. It's time to make another one. So we're going with one of Nikki and I's favorites, the spiced apple. Delicious, super easy to make. And I'm going to do this all in one shot right here because it is just that easy. I will also be using the Catalyst fermenter. Now this is the first time you've seen me use the Catalyst. The fine folks over at Craft Brew reached out to me to try one of their products, their main product, and give a review on it. So I've done it for a batch of wine now. We've got, I believe I put a batch of beer through it. Now we're going to do this cider. And I just wanted to show you basically that in action. Not a plug for them per se, because it's got its pluses and minuses just like anything, so stay tuned. I will have a very detailed review of that. But it's my open fermenter right now. I've got the fast ferment conical, but I wanted to try the cider in this one just to see how it goes, because I know how it goes in the fast ferment. So let's do this. First things first, everything is cleaned, and I swapped the heads on my acid sanitizer jug here because my actual sprayer, I think the acid melted something on the inside because now it just sprays in a straight line. It doesn't do the mist. So that being said, let's get this out of the way. We'll actually set that right over here. I'm just going to go ahead and sanitize everything. I'm going to start with the lid. Nothing should really be touching this, but you know how that goes. The one time you don't sanitize it, it's going to be the time that it gets screwed up. So I'm just going to set that one aside. Now I'm going to do the body of the fermenter. Like I said, everything's already cleaned. Just got to hit it with the sanitizer here. This is Star Sand, so it's going to take a minute or two contact time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray everything down, and we're just going to basically assemble it as everything is kind of drying a little bit. Oh, you know what? Do my stirrer here. You can use a spoon. I had the paddle was what was on top of the stack, so that's what I went with. You'll find that's how I do a lot of things in my life. I get, surprisingly, a lot of commentary on my sock color, which I thought was interesting. And it's no joke, whatever's on top of the laundry. The first two socks I see are what I grab. I don't make too big of a deal out of coming up with what I'm going to wear or colors that coordinate. I'm like, is it a sock? Is it clean? That'll work for me. Oops. Holy smokes, as I break everything. We've got our, I thought, excuse me, the acid in this is getting me. I'm not sure if you can see that in the glass there, but it's a hop cone, which I thought was cool. Okay, sanitized. I think what we're going to do now is take this. I've had it just in the sink there, so it's just been draining. Whoops! I'm going to have to redo that one, huh? So this guy, as we do, it's closed that way. So it goes this way. I put this on backwards the first time I used it. At least yeah, I did. Because it confused the hell out of me. I'm like, why aren't these things weird? Wait, did I? No, I couldn't have because they're different size. What am I thinking? I thought that's what it was. I thought I was going to, but then I was like, oh, it's very clear. Down is out, you know? Alrighty, so there's that. Okay, that's it. We're gonna go ahead, redo this guy here. And again, start saying you don't have to rinse off, so this little bit of residue here is not going to be a problem at all. Works for me. That's going, you know what we'll do, we'll get this guy. I'm trying to think of anything else. What else we need to get sanitized? Oops. These are all the outtakes you guys don't typically get to see. Me being a dingus, dropping shit all the time. I know what the problem is. I have not had enough wine. Cheers. Alright. So we'll take our scissors are over here. Sanitize those. It's kind of the nice part about having the sprayer that sprays the mist everywhere. It just covers everything, so you know. It's nice and easy to use. Don't have to worry about it. You could probably sanitize this too. I typically don't, but for good measure, I guess. Oh yeah, I keep my paper towels in the ceiling. Pretty slick, huh? Okay, so if you've never done one of these Cider House Select kits, they're super easy. They've got instructions on the back there, but really, this could not be more foolproof. You take your scissors. Oh, wait, you know what? Let's wait for this. Let's let this sit. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get our water incorporated first because you add your sugar right up front. You use the kit here and 2 pounds of corn sugar. So that's sealed, that's on. I'm going to go ahead and add in some warm water. Start there. Dextrose, straight regular corn sugar. Dextrose monohydrate. In it goes. Now I did go ahead and seal up the bottom here, the bottom valve. Get everything incorporated, and then we'll open it and top to that 5-gallon mark. Now these kits are designed to do 6 US gallons, 5 Imperial. They're made in England. And so I just make it to 5 US, and I use a little bit less sugar. It calls for the kilogram. 1 pound is 454 grams, so what, 900 grams, so just shy of a kilogram. And I found that works just great for me. It doesn't, I don't have to have extra. 5 gallons fits perfectly in my keg, so it's a nice, easy amount. Get a little bit extra flavor, a little bit extra sugar in there. Sorry, I thought I had a drip there. I didn't. So, step 1. Step 2, cut open your cider kit. Now, inside the cider kit are 2 zones. One is a wet side, one is a dry side. So I'm going to try to show that to you. This is a little tricky. Let's see, where's the liquid? So do you see there? Oh, there's packs of information and stuff, and then there's that center plastic piece. And then that's where all the actual cider extract is. So what you want to do is go to your dry side and take all that shit out of there. We'll go over that in a second. So reach in, you make sure all your stuff's out. Now we're going to add the cider. So then what I do, I rinse the cider side with lukewarm water. Just right into the bag, because then we dump it in and we add it. Think of it like a malt extract. You want to get every little bit out of it that you can. So rinse those utensils. I use warm water. You can use probably whatever temperature water you want, but obviously warm water absorbs, dissolves stuff into it just a little bit better. I'm not going too super hot with the water. Whoops! As I spray everywhere. But just enough to dissolve it in. And I'll show you what I mean. You saw all that dark extract in there. And as you can see, we're already at 3.5 gallons. This is the cider side. Pretty much done. It smells good. Okay, so we give it a mix. That is kind of the benefit of the catalyst, is that you can see you can see everything. So in that dry side, you have your instructions, you have your yeast, you have a non-fermentable sweetener, which I don't use. I never use this stuff. But a lot of folks do and they like it a lot. And then you have the magic ingredient. It's a cider flavoring pack. And so this is going to contain natural flavorings that basically make the cider a lot drinkable, a lot faster. If you just use your apple base here, it's going to take quite a while for that fruit flavor to come back. This is going to have the flavoring of the apple and then also those spices that basically, it makes it palatable a lot sooner. When I did my fresh fruit cider, gosh, it's been a couple years ago now, it took about a year for me to be able to taste the apple blend again. It was nice and dry. It was like a strongbow, but the first several months, it just tasted like booze. It just was really hot, Yeah, I was not a fan. So now we top it up. So that's the 5 gallon mark. Give it another mix here. Make sure we're even. Whew. Okay, so now I'm going to open the collection valve. Make sure everything's tight on there. Yep. There it goes. I'm going to open it up all the way. And that took us just below the 5 gallon mark, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. I'll go just a hair more, because I'm going to drop the collection ball once. So we're just over 5 gallons. US gallons. So pretty much at the beginning of this, making these cider kits, you use 2 pounds of sugar and the apple base. You don't put the flavoring in, you don't put the sweetener in, and then your yeast. This yeast is so good, you can actually just buy, just this yeast, and we have that in our store. Alright. Delicious. Ooh, where is it? dry yeast. So sprinkle that in. You can stir it in. You know, like a beer, you can let it set. I'm just going to sprinkle this across the top and let it set, let it naturally kind of fall in. I try to sprinkle it as evenly across the top as I can. I treat it kind of like a wine yeast because that's really what it is. If memory serves me correct, it is actually it's like a subspecies of Saccharomyces. It's an offshoot of a type of a champagne style yeast, but it helps pop those fruity flavors. So that's it. Look at how beautiful that looks. Okay, airlock. Flip this upside down here. Got our stopper. I'm going to set it over there actually. Drain this out. Important to make sure your gasket is in place on any fermenter you use. So much! Don't fear it, I know. Okay, so get that lined up, lined up, lined up. With this lid, I like to kind of go at it on the sides, and then go get the other ones. Because I've had one where I like tighten, and then tighten, it's like pop, pop. So there's that. We will take our sanitized bung right in the top. There's a big hole in that lid. Our sanitized airlock. Pop that in. Pop the top. Take some of our acid sanitizer. Right in the top there. And then put your little lid back on. Whew! And we're done. Where are we at time-wise? 17 minutes. 17 minutes. And you saw me, I messed stuff up there. I dropped crap. It's so easy. They make it so easy. So, now what we're going to do. This is going to get fermenting here probably. I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's warm to the touch, but I can tell it's definitely not cool. So, those cider yeasts and wine yeasts like it a little bit warmer. You're going to be looking at probably... I'm probably going to let this go for at least 2 weeks, and especially because I've got the collection ball here. Once everything ferments and it settles out, you can just dump that, pop it back on, and boom, you're in that secondary period. So I'll typically let this set for grand total, it's typically 3 or 4 weeks, I would say, and then I go and keg it directly. And so when you just drop it into the keg, that is when you would add this flavoring packet. Now when you go to bottle it, you would do the same thing. Mix in your priming sugar, add the flavoring packet, and contrary to what I say with some of the other flavorings we use, I actually dump this whole pack in. And I've noticed that it's pretty well balanced for all the different styles. We always have one of these kits going because they're so good and they're so simple and fast that it's kind of like a no-brainer. It's like a dedicated tap on my kegerator, it seems, as a cider. So I dump it all in. However, I do believe, let's see, it says see step 7 in the instructions, which the instructions are a brewer's best standard kind of instruction sheet, so it's very, very clear. It's so easy to follow. There you go. Once fermentation is complete, remove the lid, add the flavor sachet, and stir well. Secure the lid and airlock to the fermenter and leave to sit for at least 48 hours before bottling. This allows the yeast to resettle to the bottom of the fermenter, reducing the amount of sediment that could be transferred into the bottles. Pretty common sense. Or just add it at bottling. Or just add it at kegging, you know. Some people do add less than this whole packet, and that's really your personal preference. I found, though, that the amount they give you works really well to just dump it in, and you're good. You know, it's very, very balanced, I guess, you know, fruit flavor-wise balanced. It's not too strong. And like I said, this cider is actually one of our favorites. The spiced apple is killer. The pineapple is absolutely killer. Standard apple is classic. They have a strawberry pear. There's a cherry. I think there's a blueberry one, actually, which I think that may be my next one. Mango peach was surprisingly good. I mean, I don't like mangoes and I don't like peach, but apparently I drank the hell out of that cake, you know? What other ones? Raspberry lime. Again, one you would not think was good. LD Carlson actually gave me one of those. I went to a convention they were at, and they gave me one to try. And man, I was like, that sounds terrible. It's delicious. It was absolutely delicious. I pretty much learned that these kits are just foolproof. They're delicious. They're easy. They're fast. You know, if you've got a wedding coming up or something, birthday, psh, you got 3 weeks, crank one of these out. I've done that twice now, actually. So yeah, it was just that easy. You can see we're sitting right above that 5-gallon mark, so it's going to work out well when we dump this collection ball. And yeah, so now all I need to do cleanup-wise is rinse this off, dry some things down. But yeah, that's it. It was just that easy. So, if you've got any questions or comments, please do leave them down in the comments section. If you're new to the channel, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, would appreciate that. And if you're new to seeing me, I hope my videos are helpful and informative. If they are, or if you're a longtime viewer, please do check out my Patreon page. You can make a very small donation for each video that I make. It'll go a long way to help me keep making these videos, keep getting new stuff to do, and yeah, to help support Nikki and I directly, rather than the big online advertisers. You know how that goes. So, we'd appreciate your help if you're able to. So, yeah, questions, comments, leave them down below. Like the video, subscribe. Please donate on Patreon if you can. I guess it's just time to drink wine now. Cheers, YouTube. Thanks for watching. And yeah, we'll see you soon. 17.